Let's talk about one of the biggest shocks to the system pretty much everyone goes through, that jump from college life to your first real job. It's a leap that trips up so many people, and today we're going to figure out exactly why.
Does that sound familiar? Yeah, for most of our lives, that's the one thing we've heard over and over. Get a good education and you're set. But what if the very things that made you a fantastic student are actually setting you up to fail in the real world?
See, for years, we've all been following a very specific formula for success. It's a path that's been carved out for us, a game we all learned how to play, and for the most part, we got pretty good at it.
I mean, look at this. It's so simple, right? Go to class, scribble down some notes, cram for the exam, pass it, and boom, you get the degree. It's predictable. You know what to expect, and it works pretty much every time.
And right here, this is the big catch. That formula, the one we've spent more than a decade getting perfect, it's really just the entry ticket. It gets you through the door, but it is definitely not the rule book for what happens next.
Because the second you walk through that door, get ready for a serious reality check. The rules of the game don't just change a little bit when you hit the corporate world, they completely shatter.
Let's just start with the consequences. In college, if you miss a class, what happens? It's your problem. You ask a friend for their notes, you catch up. No big deal. But in the corporate world, missing a deadline isn't just your problem, it's the company's problem. We're talking real money lost and a damaged reputation. Or think about how you're judged. In school, there's always a little wiggle room, you know? Neat handwriting might get you an extra point, or a professor might give you the benefit of the doubt with some grace marks. While in the business world, all of that just vanishes. It doesn't matter how pretty your report looks. What matters is, did it work? Performance and results, that's the only language that gets you ahead.
Now, this one can be a tough pill to swallow. In college, trying your best is a big deal. You know, that whole A for effort thing is real. But in a corporate job, all the sincere effort in the world means absolutely nothing if you don't get results. If you don't hit the target, you're held accountable no matter how many all-nighters you pulled.
And then there's the timing. Submitting an assignment late might just knock a few points off your grade, but a late delivery to a client? That can cause millions in losses. And even worse, it can destroy the trust you have with that client, which is something you might never get back. The stakes are just astronomically higher.
And finally, let's talk about your own time. In college, your schedule is pretty flexible. You can figure out how to make that trip or go to that family function. In the corporate world, though, your time is a company resource. Every single day off is tracked, it has to be approved, and believe me, the project deadline doesn't care if you have a wedding to go to.
So when you see all these huge differences, you have to ask yourself, what is going on here? What's the real source of this massive disconnect? Where's the actual problem?
You know, it's really easy to start pointing fingers. Is it the college's fault for being so outdated, or is it your new boss who's just way too demanding and doesn't get it? But the real villain here, it isn't a person, and it's not an institution either. It's something that's hiding inside our own heads. It's a very powerful and honestly, a very dangerous illusion.
And this is what we're talking about, what we call the corporate illusion. It's this quiet, mistaken belief that your job is just going to be an extension of college, you know, with all the same fun, freedom, and flexibility. It's an expectation that is just completely out of touch with reality.
So here's the bottom line. When recent grads walk into their first job still carrying that college mindset, they're just not equipped for what's about to hit them. And this clash, this collision between expectation and reality, that's the #1 reason why so many smart people struggle or even fail in their first couple of years.
Okay, that's enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. How do you break free from this illusion and build the kind of mindset you need to actually win at this new game?
Well, first, you have to understand why this gap even exists. Our education system, it was built for a totally different time. We're talking decades ago, when the main goal was to get a stable, secure government job for life. It just hasn't kept up. And that's exactly why big companies have to spend 6 months or more just training fresh graduates. They're literally forced to build the bridge that the university never did.
Let this one really sink in. Your degree, that's the key that opens the door. It proves you're capable of learning. But the moment you're inside, that degree basically goes up on a shelf. From that day forward, the only things that determine how far you go are your performance, your results, and your ability to adapt. That's it.
So what's the actual takeaway here? It's about making a conscious mental shift. First, you have to accept, deep down, that work is a completely different universe from college. Second, you've got to switch your entire focus away from just putting in effort to actually delivering results.
And third, start preparing yourself for the reality of deadlines, teamwork, and pressure. The secret is to do all this work before you even start the job, to get your mind ready for the culture you're about to walk into.
So it all comes down to this. The game is totally different now. The rules have all been rewritten. The only real question left is, are you ready to learn the new playbook and actually start playing to win?